yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Thanks for their disease. Rage is like a weed.
It is that time of the season again, where the weather starts to get a little bit cooler and we start to slip into that brutal, brutal period where the ice begins to form and the rain falls and we're wearing coats and we're wearing pants and all this other bullshit. But right here at the greatest bar known to mankind, because I'm sitting at it, we rocking and rolling, and that can only mean that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to a very special edition Tuesday stream. We are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts, and we already got a nice little crowd joining us here. I see Queen Bird Gang 86. Of course, she was sharing out my stream earlier because she knows how to spend her Tuesday night. Of course, we got Sarah Hapka and Dee Dee. I mean, the ladies love DJ Storms. It is a known fact, as of course you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle known to mankind. And as you can see, this is the official rundown for NXT No Mercy, which of course is streaming live on the Peacock, that is. Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. And it seems as though my mic is working okay today. It's deciding to cooperate with me, and I hope it cooperates with me throughout the rest of the stream. If it's not, please let me know. I mean, we got plenty of people in here to let me know if my mic is fucking up. Either way, NXT No Mercy 2023 is streaming live on the Peacock this Saturday in Bakersfield, California, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I know, not a lot of people want to talk about NXT. I don't really blame you, because at the end of the day, NXT continues to be the absolute worst show in the industry, bar none. I know, I get it. But I'll tell you what, it gets me more watch hours, and it gets you guys more content. So I don't know what you guys are complaining about. If I'm here live, whenever I'm live, your lives automatically become better. I just make people's lives better. That's what DJ Storms does. If I'm not, then clearly something's wrong with you. But I'll tell you what's so fucking great. It's the fact that I can curse left and fucking right. I can curse up a storm because I'm not streaming live on PWP Nation Facebook page right now. Only on Saturdays with the LFU. Because on Saturdays, I got to be PG Storms. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when you get me live, sometimes on Sundays as well. Even though that's a holy day, I do curse a lot. At the end of the day, I am DJ motherfucking Storms, whether you want to admit it or not, and I am the greatest to ever do it. We got some shit to talk about. We got a semi-decent card. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the talent on the show is bad. It's not. It's not. I have never once shit on the great talent that NXT possesses. Obviously, there are a handful of individuals that should not be on TV because they either have shitty characters or they cannot wrestle themselves out of a plastic bag. But either way, the majority, at least, the majority of the NXT roster is very good. And I'm looking at this card. The talent has never been the problem. The problem has always been the booking. The problem has always been the creative writing. That is probably the number one problem in pro wrestling today. Whether it is in WWE, whether it's in AEW or Impact or New Japan or Ring of Honor, it doesn't matter. Everyone is guilty of this. Every wrestling company is guilty of poor creative writing and poor booking. And that's exactly what NXT is. But we know that NXT is bad when Monday Night Raw is putting on better shows than NXT. And that's fucking sad because NXT used to be the go-to place when it was NXT Black and Gold. I say it all the time. I sound like a broken record. I don't need to tell you guys this. You already know. And yes, I know Sarah Hapka said it perfectly right here. NXT sucks. DJ Storms does not. She knows. She knows. I think that a lot of people should start listening to Miss Sarah Hapka. But I am trying to boost my watch hours, so we're live here. We're going to be talking about NXT. And I'm also going to talk about the breaking news that we saw earlier today, confirmed by WWE themselves. Jade Cargill, former All Elite Wrestling TBS champion, has signed a multi-year deal with the WWE. We're going to talk about that, what that could mean for Jade Cargill. We're also going to rant on the fucking hypocrites that are all of a sudden fans of Jade Cargill right out of the blue. And obviously, we're going to talk about NXT No Mercy. We're going to talk about who's on the card. We're going to talk about these matches. We're going to talk about the winners, the losers, and everything in between. But before we do that, as per usual, if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure you follow me on social media, whether it be on X or Instagram, at HistoryMakerDJS. Once again, that is at HistoryMakerDJS. You can also add me on Facebook if you want to go and collaborate with me. If you would like to know about some business inquiries, please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. You can also like the official DJ Storms business page, which I'm live on right now. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, which we are live on right now as well. All of those links are currently in the description. Today's show is also sponsored by my girl, Brittany K. She is a wonderful human being. She is a wonderful woman, and she does beautifully crafted drawings and designs from scratch on her iPad. She also does beautiful Twitter avies, beautiful Twitter banners. So if you guys are on social media, you're looking for a new Twitter avie, a new banner, or if you guys just want to buy some great art, she is your girl. Her X account is Brittany K 5150, and her Instagram is Brittany K Designs. Please go and check her out. Show her some love and tell her that DJ Storm sent you. Tonight's show is also sponsored by PWP Nation. Shout out to Jay Leto, the creator of PWP Nation. He is actually on vacation. He took a drive down south to visit some family, but I am running PWP Nation Facebook page as of right now. So if you guys are looking for some hot wrestling takes, opinions, and some facts being dropped by DJ Shizzle Dizzle, I am your guy. Please go and check out PWP Nation Facebook page. That link is in the description, as well as the link to the PWP Nation website. We got to start updating that, Jay. We got to get back into updating the PWP Nation website because I think that we could really blow up over there. On top of that, Thursday is a big day because Earl Cole is celebrating his 100th episode of the Wrestling Experience. And who is the guest of honor but me? DJ Storms. I am the guest of honor for the 100th episode of the wrestling experience this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sarah Hapka is also going to be there, and it's going to be a pleasure to collaborate with Sarah Hapka and Earl Cole once again. We're going to be reviewing Dynamite, and we're also going to be preview and predicting the AEW Wrestle Dream card, which looks great. Wrestle Dream, of course, is on Sunday, and instead of doing a rewind, we are cross-breeding the rundown and the wrestling experience. After we go over Dynamite, we're going to preview and predict AEW Wrestle Dream. So if you guys are looking to celebrate 100 episodes of the wrestling experience, go check out the stream on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Of course, it's going to be on my channel. It's going to be on Hardcore Sports. It's going to be on Earl's channel. We're getting a nice wide outreach, that's for sure. So please go show some support for Earl Cole. Friday is a big day, and it's a big start to a big weekend, because on Friday in the Totowa PAL in Totowa, New Jersey, ISPW, Independent Superstars of Pro Wrestling, will be celebrating their 25-year anniversary show. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be recording a vlog. I'm going to be handing out some wristbands. And then the day after that, at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Rockaway Mall in Rockaway, New Jersey, it is 90s WrestleCon. Plenty of professional wrestlers from the 90s are going to be there, including the Nasty Boys and Jacqueline, Kevin Nash, Marty Jannetty, Duke the Dumpster Drozy, the Dudley Boys. It's going to be a very fun time. I'm going to be there. I got myself a table, and I'm going to be streaming live from the Rockaway Mall. They got Wi-Fi, so we should be in the clear. Hopefully, I should be able to have some guests on there, too. So please go set your calendar dates for the LFU on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, live from 90s WrestleCon. And then on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, October 1st, it's going to be the rewind for NXT No Mercy. Monday, October 2nd, it is the rewind for AEW Wrestle Dream 2023 with Hooligrim. On October 5th, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it is the rundown for WWE Fastlane. And then on Sunday, October 8th, it is the rewind for WWE Fastlane. So it's going to be a busy 2 weeks. I'm going to get a lot of content out there for you guys. So be prepared and set the notifications. Of course, please make sure that you like the stream, no matter where you're watching it from, whether it be on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or X. Of course, share out the stream on all platforms of social media: X, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch. No matter where you're watching it from or what apps you are on, share it out. We're going to get a nice wide outreach, and we're going to have a fun time here on this Tuesday evening. I'm already skipping ahead to Thursday and the 100th episode with Earl Cole. Tuesday. We're turning up on a Tuesday. It's TGI Tuesday. I should have remembered this by now. Anyway, please make sure, share out the stream on all platforms, social media, because if you ain't spending your Tuesday watching DJ Storms, you are doing Tuesdays wrong. You're just doing Tuesdays wrong. That's just a fact of life, all right? Of course, you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And when you hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on my channel or the Hardcore Sports channel, hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube. You know why? Because it's the only time that you can get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. You already know what time it is. It is time to break out the most famous item in the IWC, and that is this beautifully crafted magical ace black comb. We're going to light it up right here on the rundown with a little bit of and a dash of and a whole lot of because like hot, fresh, steamy lasagna right out of the oven. Got to put some extra marinara sauce and some Parmigiano cheese on that. I am just so good. It's a fun time because everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. And James Punaseca, I will have your t-shirt mailed on Friday, and you are going to be an official elite member of the DJ Storms posse. You're going to have a t-shirt, and you will have a wristband too. Anyway. Enough of the chit-chat. When we get straight into the festivities here, let us actually start with the big news report of Jade Cargill signing with the WWE. It was actually announced by WWE themselves over their X account, and they first reported it to be from ESPN. So Jade Cargill got the big ESPN highlight. I did discuss this, actually, a little bit back on September, 14th? Yeah, September 14th. September 14th, Thursday, I remember discussing this on the debut episode, the relaunch episode of World of Wrestling with Jay Aletto. Shout out to him. Jay Aletto and I will actually be returning for another episode of World of Wrestling on October 12th. So mark your calendar dates there. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to discuss on Thursday, October 12th. World of Wrestling episode 2. Mark your calendars. I said that this was actually a great move for all three parties. This was a great move for AEW. This was a great move for Jade Cargill. And this was a great move for WWE. I said that the WWE Women's Division needed a desperate shot of adrenaline, and Jade Cargill could very well be that. AEW, they did have something with Jade Cargill, but at the end of the day, Jade Cargill never had that exponential growth in terms of in-ring quality that I talked about a couple weeks ago on World of Wrestling. Jade Cargill was brought in to AEW as a person with no experience whatsoever. I think that she was only one of two individuals in the entire history of AEW that came in with little to no experience. The second one being Anna Jay. And that's because AEW is not a training facility. AEW is for the best of the best. AEW is for the most experienced professional wrestlers that the industry has to offer. No matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, no matter what you do, AEW is for the experienced pro wrestlers. Jade Cargill wasn't that. Tony Khan took a chance on her because he thought that she would be able to live up to that potential, because we have all seen that something is there with Jade Cargill, but it never materialized. The true potential, the final form of Jade Cargill never came to be in AEW, and it was never going to come to be in AEW because Jade Cargill was going to have to learn on the fly. And she doesn't seem like one of those individuals that's going to learn things while being in the deep water, swimming with sharks. There were so many women ahead of her that could have easily gotten the opportunities that she gotten. And I'm glad that Chris Statlander was the recipient of getting the opportunities that Jade Cargill was once getting. Now Chris Statlander is the face of TBS. But you have so many individuals like Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale are two rising stars in the women's division, and they are leagues ahead of Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill was never going to reach her true potential because she is not one of these individuals that is going to succeed via going into the deep water head first, swimming with sharks, and learning as you go along. She needs to be in a PC. She needs to train because she came straight out of the Nightmare Factory. There's a reason why. It's because Tony Khan does not want to have to train these individuals. There is no training facility. Their training facility is basically Ring of Honor and the Nightmare Factory. So Jade Cargill leaving AEW, and don't get me wrong, she did have some decent moments in AEW. She did have some moments of greatness in AEW, but overall, outside of a decent match with Chris Statlander, a couple of decent matches with Red Velvet, a couple of decent matches with Taya Valkyrie, and a pretty damn good match back in January against Sky Blue, Imagine that. Sky Blue brought Jade Cargill to her best match ever. Outside of that, Jade Cargill's run in AEW wasn't all that memorable. She wasn't even supposed to hold the TBS championship for as long as she did. The only reason why she did is because Chris Statlander got hurt. It was going to be a triple threat match back at AEW All Out with Statlander, Athena, and Cargill. And Statlander was supposed to win the title then. Cargill's reign as TBS champion would have barely seen 200 days, never mind 500. The only reason why she was TBS champion for so long is because they were waiting for Chris Statlander to come back. I mean, at least you can say that Jade Cargill helped enhance Chris Statlander. I guess you could say that that was probably the biggest positive that came out of Jade Cargill in AEW. But Jade Cargill going to WWE, training in that performance center, after having that experience in AEW, that could very well be what she needs to make that leap of faith, to make that leap in terms of in-ring growth. She's got everything there is to want in a women's wrestler except for the in-ring ability. She's just too stiff. Her timing is off. You take a look at Jade Cargill, she had the potential of being AEW's version of Wardlow. You take a look at Wardlow, and Wardlow's a big guy, big muscular guy, but he's fluid. He's quick. He's smooth like butter. He does things that a big man shouldn't be able to do. That could have been Jade Cargill, but she just was not improving at the rate that Tony Khan wanted her to improve. So ultimately, Tony Khan and Jade Cargill agreed to not renew her contract, and now Jade Cargill has officially signed with WWE. This could be a great thing, and if done right, Jade Cargill could be the next major megastar in the women's division in WWE. Now, the funny thing about this, the pathetic thing about this actually, is the fact that how many people are all of a sudden jumping on the Jade Cargill bandwagon just because she signed with WWE. Those people aren't wrestling fans. Those people are actually the bane of professional wrestling's existence. Matter of fact, what WWE did here was fuel the toxicity. They fueled the toxicity of the IWC, and they pretty much shoved Jade Cargill in everyone's face out of pettiness, in a sense. Hey, look, we got another one of AEW's top-tier homegrown stars. We got another one of AEW's failed projects, and we're going to do what AEW couldn't do with Jade Cargill. That's what really turns a lot of people off from WWE, including me. I want to support WWE, especially after the 2 very solid episodes of Monday Night Raw that we saw. I'm not even lying to you. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but Monday Night Raw the last couple weeks has been pretty decent, and I want to get behind that. But when WWE does stuff like that, it just turns me off. But the IWC is just so goddamn hypocritical. These fucking inbreds coming out of the woods in support of WWE, getting on Jade Cargill's bandwagon as if she wasn't wrestling for the last 3 years on AEW television. Where were you then? You don't give a shit about pro wrestling. You don't care about Jade Cargill wanting to succeed. All you care about is your precious WWE snagging up all the talent in the industry and rooting for AEW to die. Let me tell you something. AEW ain't going anywhere. They ain't going nowhere. They're about to secure a deal with Edge. They're about to secure a deal with Mercedes Moné. And they're about to secure a streaming service deal with HBO Max potentially. They ain't going anywhere. Cut the bullshit. Cut the fucking tribalism and act like fans. It's time that you pop that WWE bubble and you expand beyond. Expand beyond, expand your horizon, and watch pro wrestling. And if you don't want to get behind AEW, then stop supporting the superstars that jump ship. Jump shipping from AEW to WWE. There's going to be superstars that jump ship from WWE to AEW as well. Where are you then? Are you going out of your way to support them? Of course not. Why? Because you're a tribalistic retard. That's why. And goddamn, that feels good. That feels good. I don't know. Listen, Jay, I like this whole deal with PWP Nation. I don't mind posting, but I think I may have to take the LFU back off of PWP Nation so I can curse up a storm again. because this is what I need. This is my fucking therapy, bro. But that shit just really gets under my skin, and it really just goes to show you how pathetic and how retarded the IWC really is. Just does not sit well with me. Now, the one thing that cannot be done with Jade Cargill, you cannot put her on the main roster right out of the gate. You can't. You can't. She's not ready. What makes her better than any other woman that is on that roster right now waiting for an opportunity? What makes her better than Tegan Knox? What makes her better than Candice LeRae? What makes her better than a Liv Morgan or a Raquel Rodriguez? What makes her better than Rhea Ripley? She's by default better than Nia Jax, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, there are so many women on that roster that have worked their ass off above and beyond to be something of substance, and they have not gotten even 1/10 of the opportunities that Jade Cargill got. So what makes her better than everyone else? You can't do that. You can't just throw her out there just because she has a good look and she has a nice body and she has a cool theme song and, you know, she can do a couple of cool moves here and there. You need to get her timing right. You need to get her fluidity in the ring correct. You need her to perfect her craft. You cannot rush her. Now, I talk about Jade Cargill first because that actually segues into the match that we're going to talk about right now. Shout out to Earl Cole, who is currently watching on YouTube right now. Thank you very much. Please help boost up those watch hours for me, Earl. Share it out. Share it out. We want to get a nice, solid crowd for tonight. And hopefully we're going to get a nice, solid crowd for your show on Thursday. Of course, I've been promoting it. Don't worry. Wrestling Experience, people. Wrestling Experience this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you guys mark your calendar dates. I need another one of those. Hang on. Good stuff. Really, 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 really good stuff right there. Let's talk about NXT No Mercy after I got the Jade Cargill stuff out of the way. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. This is an Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's Championship. I've been ranting about Becky Lynch winning the NXT Women's Championship ever since Tiffany Stratton's shoulders were pinned to the mat 1, 2, 3. I have been very, very vocal about it, and I have called Becky Lynch a piece of shit. I have called Becky Lynch a selfish bitch. I have said that Tiffany Stratton is buried. All three of those statements are 1,000% factual, by the way. Now, people have obviously gotten mad because they don't know any better and they want to think that everything is sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, when in reality, what we saw was another incarnation of Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania 36. How many years did it take Rhea Ripley to recover from that? It took her nearly 3 years to recover from that loss to Charlotte Flair. That should have never even happened. That should have been a victory for Rhea Ripley. Same thing in this instance. This should have been a victory for Tiffany Stratton. Shout out to Steve Jordan right now. Yo, Steve, can you watch on my YouTube channel? Because I'm trying to boost up these watch hours. Share it out as well. Share it out as well. Because we got some shit to talk about right now. Tiffany Stratton should have won a couple weeks ago on NXT. There is no reason whatsoever why Becky Lynch needs to win the NXT Women's Championship. The reason why she did is because WWE is in this fetish stage where they want to give main roster superstars the NXT championships because they want to boost some intrigue in NXT. And then I hear some fucking retarded ass bitches, these retarded ass inbreds, come out of the woodwork at me and say, well, you know, what's the difference between the AEW wrestlers holding the Ring of Honor Championship, but WWE gets shit for having the main roster superstars hold the NXT Championship. Oh, you heard? I hear this all the time, and I'm here to tell you all that those are two different things, two vastly different things, because the AEW roster and the Ring of Honor roster have always been crisscrossed. They have always been intertwined. It has never been specifically AEW roster and Ring of Honor roster, although it should be. I have said it should be, and I really do hope that we actually do get some semblance of a brand split. I don't really want to use that term brand split, but at the end of the day, we do need to separate the Ring of Honor and the AEW rosters. On top of that, besides the fact that the rosters have always been intertwined, they've always been mishmashed, Ring of Honor is not on cable TV. Streams live on Honor Club. It has 12,000 subscribers. So exactly, what are they going to do? What exactly are they going to do if Ring of Honor championships are held by AEW wrestlers? What is that exactly going to do? Ring of Honor is not going anywhere. It's going to continue to be broadcasted on Honor Club. It's for $9.99. It has 12,000 subscribers, and that's it. The intent is different. You take a look at the intent of Ring of Honor championships being held by AEW wrestlers. You take a look at Claudio. Claudio was always the plan to win the Ring of Honor World Championship because him and Eddie Kingston are in a program. Yes, two AEW wrestlers, but the program here is Eddie Kingston finally overcoming Claudio and winning his first major world championship, which just so happened to be the Ring of Honor Championship. The intent was to put a cherry on top of the rivalry and give Eddie Kingston a big win. You take a look at the Ring of Honor six-man tag team titles, which were won by the Elite. That match with the Mogul Embassy could have swung either way. But the intent was to get the Mogul Embassy on AEW television full-time, which I do hope that's the case. And some people are even saying that the Elite are not even going to hold these titles very long. Some people are saying that the Elite could very well drop these titles to the Dark Order at Ring of Honor Final Battle in the beginning of December. The intent there would be to get the Dark Order over. See, the intent is different. You take a look at the NXT and the main roster. Those two rosters, those two sets of talent have been separated for the longest time. Why were they never crossbreeded? Because they were never meant to be crossbreeded. On top of that, WWE is putting NXT titles on main roster talent because they are desperate. They are desperate to generate some sort of intrigue, some sort of interest in NXT on Tuesday nights. They're trying to capitalize because they think AEW is at a weak point right now. They think that AEW is at a weak point right now, and they're going to try and beat AEW in the ratings with NXT, but on Tuesday night, because now NXT is going completely unopposed. NXT is going completely unopposed, and they want to see if they can capitalize and get themselves a high demo rating, because that's what WWE is. WWE is petty. WWE is like fucking vultures. The intent is different. NXT was always meant to be a breeding ground for the next generation of superstars. The NXT championships that they have down there were meant to be championships that were to catapult people to the next level. Not championships that main roster superstars win because WWE's got to drive up the interest. You gotta drive up those ratings. Drive up the ratings because we got to sign new deals. Endeavor, pal. TKO. NXT is all so good now. They had something great with NXT. Vince killed it out of pettiness towards his son-in-law. Then they rebooted it. They tried to go with their vision of NXT. They realized that their vision of NXT wasn't doing dick, so they instituted main roster superstars in there to try and boost ratings. And look at that. Jenna Lee. Unbelievable. You decided to come in when I'm ranting my fucking heart out right now. I see Courtney as well. Courtney, please support me on YouTube as well, because let me tell you something. I'm trying to boost up these watch hours. I know that Jenna is probably watching me from work because, you need a little bit of DJ Storms when you're working. I've already told a lot of people this. Jenna already knows that I make people's lives better. Anyway. The intent behind WWE main roster talent holding NXT titles is completely different than AEW wrestlers holding Ring of Honor titles. If you do not understand this and you do not comprehend the difference and you do not see the difference, you may legitimately be retarded. Either that or you're just trolling. That or you're just trolling and you're trying to be cool. And here's a spoiler. You're not cool. You're a fucking bum. Get real. Tiffany Stratton was buried. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter who wins this match, because Tiffany Stratton, as far as I'm looking at her, she is another Bron Breakker scenario. Remember when Dolph Ziggler beat Bron Breakker to become the NXT Championship in March of 2022? And then what happened? Bron Breakker won it back a month later. There you go. There you go. Jenna, speaking the truth right here. Speaking the truth right here. It's DJ Storm's posse all day, every fucking day. I make people's lives better. It's a known fucking fact. But Bron Breakker lost the NXT Championship to Dolph Ziggler in March of 2022, legitimately 2 months after he beat Tommaso Ciampa for it in a great match. And then he won it back a month later on the Raw after WrestleMania, and he was never the same since. Matter of fact, people were actually calling for him to lose the championship. Every single title defense that he had, people wanted him to lose the championship. Whether it be to Tyler Bate, or J.D. McDonough, or Ilja Dragunov, or Apollo Crews, they did not care for Bron Breakker anymore because his mystique, it went away because WWE thought that putting the title on Ziggler just to put it back on Bron Breakker, they thought that would do him good, but it won't. So I ask you, if Tiffany Stratton was to win this match against Becky Lynch, what will it do for Tiffany Stratton? I'm going to ask the question, well, why did you even bother taking the title off of Tiffany Stratton if you were just going to put it right back on her? And if anything, I don't see Tiffany Stratton winning because you got a match on Monday Night Raw the following week with Tegan Nox. Who do you think Tegan Nox is going to be in the ring with? Tiffany Stratton? Of course not. It's going to be Becky, because right now, they think in their sick, deluded mind that Becky Lynch is somehow going to drive up consistent ratings for NXT. Here's a spoiler alert. When all of these main roster individuals lose their NXT championships, the ratings will go back down to where they were. Why? Because no one gives a fuck about NXT. Will it be a good match? Of course it'll be a good match. No shit, it'll be a good match. We saw this match 2 weeks ago, and it was probably Tiffany Stratton's best match in her WWE career ever. Of course, it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a quality match, and I'm sure both women are going to bring it. But at the end of the fucking day, it doesn't matter what the outcome because the damage is already done. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here. I do believe Becky's retaining because, again, why would you take the title off of Becky if WWE's in the fetish mindset of putting NXT titles on main roster superstars? Why would Becky lose? Becky Lynch is going to keep the championship. Tiffany Stratton's going to be buried even further. I do believe that we could very well see Jade Cargill on Saturday. I'm going to throw it out there. I genuinely believe that we could see Jade Cargill on Saturday. We could very well see Jade Cargill on Saturday, and we could very well see Jade Cargill stand face-to-face with Becky. And that could very well be the program that they're building towards. Maybe they put the title on Becky for someone like Jade Cargill. And if anything, that will be a great starting point for her. If she works on her craft, she busts her ass, and she gets better, she improves from an in-ring standpoint, she is going to be a very valuable asset in the NXT women's division. And NXT is full of a lot of talent in the women's division that could mesh very well with Jade Cargill. And I believe she is keeping her name, so that's great too. She's keeping her name, that's good. When will the match happen? I honestly don't know. It all depends on how quickly Jade Cargill improves. Knowing WWE, they'll probably rush the match. They may rush the match to NXT Deadline. NXT Deadline, that could very well take place in December. I believe that took place on the same day as Ring of Honor Final Battle last year. So if we get NXT Deadline, that's going to take place sometime in December. Maybe they hold off until February, which is the NXT Vengeance Day pay-per-view. So we could very well see Jade Cargill and Becky Lynch at NXT Vengeance Day. Although, if we're going to do it at Vengeance Day, I don't really understand why they don't just wait until NXT Stand and Deliver during WrestleMania weekend. But I can imagine that they want a bigger match on WrestleMania weekend for Becky Lynch rather than just defending the NXT Women's Championship against Jade Cargill. But yes, she needs to go into NXT with the desire to learn, because if she's going in there half-assing it, she's not going to improve. She's got literally everything that you could ask for. She just needs to get her timing in the ring right. She needs to get her in-ring ability down to a T. She just works too stiff. But if anything, I would actually be surprised if we don't see Jade Cargill on Saturday's show for NXT No Mercy. I would genuinely be surprised if we don't see her. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. But no reason why Becky's going to lose this match. Becky's going to retain as expected. Will it be a good match? Yeah, it'll be a good match. But at the end of the day, damage is already done, and Tiffany Stratton is buried. Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin. I'm not going to lie. I actually don't mind Baron Corbin in NXT. I know, surprise, surprise. He's actually portraying a gimmick where he's burning the ships of his past. And it's somewhat similar to the Lone Wolf gimmick. Somewhat similar. I don't necessarily mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it. I think it's fairly decent. And on top of that, he's working with some solid in-ring talent. So, in the end, I'm sure this match with Bron Breakker is going to be fine, but they're two heels. They're two heels, and the premises of this feud was Von Wagner and the fact that Bron Breakker crushed Von Wagner's head in between the steel steps. I'm actually still wondering why Bron Breakker has not been called up to the main roster. Why is Bron Breakker even there right now? Bron Breakker has done everything there is to do in NXT as we speak. Why is he there? He had a match with Seth Rollins on NXT back towards the end of June, and it was probably the best match of his entire career. He did not look out of place in that match. That may have been Rollins' best match throughout his entire world title reign thus far, minus his match with Finn Balor at SummerSlam. That match was fucking excellent. Excellent match with Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. I think they went like 20 minutes. 20 minutes, they tore the house down. If Bron Breakker can hold his own against a guy like Seth Rollins and bring Seth Rollins to one hell of a match, regardless of the fact that it was on Tuesday nights on NXT, regardless of whether or not it was in Bron Breakker's home, that's a testament to how good Breakker is and the fact that he's ready for the main roster. I ask, why are you keeping him down there? Why was he not called up in the draft? You don't think that SmackDown could have benefited from a Bron Breakker? Look at SmackDown right now. SmackDown is neck and neck with NXT for being the worst show in the industry right now. SmackDown is not in a good place, especially with the fact that Roman Reigns, or Brock Lesnar 2.0, as I like to call him, Hogan Reigns, because he's a selfish prick, Hogan Reigns is holding the championship hostage. Why isn't Bron Breakker on the main roster? I really don't know. If anything, I actually see this ending with a Von Wagner return. Because Von Wagner, he was put on the shelf by Bron Breakker. Maybe Breakker wins. Maybe Breakker wins, because unfortunately, Baron Corbin cannot seem to escape the enhancement talent vibe. Baron Corbin is just an enhancement talent. Very good in the ring. Very good in the ring, can hold his own against anyone, can deliver a great match if you want him to, but he's a glorified enhancement talent. That is his ceiling. It's honestly sad. It's honestly sad. If anything, there's a part of me that believes that if Baron Corbin were to leave and go venture on the indies, he could very well be something of substance. He could very well turn himself into one hell of an athlete. He could turn himself into a household name on the indies. He could boost his name value and boost his credibility tenfold. Something tells me that with everything that WWE has done to Baron Corbin, there's just no coming back. He's set to be a mid-card enhancement talent for life, which sucks. He's like a taller, tattooed version of Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, he could very well end up in AEW right now, and he could very well end up lighting the world on fucking fire. But I really don't see this ending any other way other than a Von Wagner return. It's got to be. And Von Wagner could very well be the guy that forces Bron Breakker out of NXT. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to sit back, wait and see. But if anything, this really shouldn't result in anything more than a Bron Breakker victory. If you want to have Von Wagner return, fine. But it would be much more effective if you were to give Bron Breakker the victory, because Bron Breakker, he has not had a major victory in a long, long time. He's honestly taken over the role of Baron Corbin. It's Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin right now, the resident enhancement talents of NXT. Bron Breakker put over Carmelo Hayes, and he's put over, I think he put over Von Wagner once, and he's put over Ilja Dragunov. So, if anything, this could very well be a chance to give Bron Breakker a victory, because he's got this new meaner than evil character. If he's a heel like that, you want to make him somewhat of a credible heel, right? I predict the Bron Breakker win, and then probably afterwards we will see the return of Von Wagner, who's got this new gimmick where he's putting people through tables as if he's the Dudley Boys. He's a Dudley boy with a lisp. That's what he is. And I like Von Wagner, don't get me wrong. I actually got a match confirmed as the show is going on right now. I'm actually watching NXT right now. I'm not even bullshitting you guys. I'm watching NXT right now as I am doing this stream live, because I actually want to keep myself up to date, because there's a couple of matches tonight that could very well determine who's going to be fighting certain people at No Mercy. One match was actually just confirmed. It was Joe Coffey and Butch in the opening match tonight, and the winner was to face Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup. Butch won. Now, if you ask me, based on the fact that WWE is in this fetish, like I said, to give NXT championships to main roster talent, it really would not surprise me if Butch was the guy to beat Noam Dar. I actually don't even know why Noam Dar is still the Heritage Cup champion, because they had a decent thing going on with Nathan Fraser. I really don't understand why they decided to give the title back to Noam Dar. Don't get me wrong. I think Noam Dar is very, very, very good at what he does. But this whole metaphor character that he's got going on, it's fucking cringe. It honestly is. It's cringeworthy. It's lame. Now, they did put on a pretty fun match on the, what was it? The Great American Bash pre-show, I believe it was. Yeah, it was the Great American Bash pre-show. It was Nathan Fraser, Dragon Lee, Ulyssa Leon, who got fired, and Valentina Feroz. They all took on Metaphor, and Metaphor actually looked pretty decent in that match. That much I will say, but outside of that, I mean, I don't know who the fuck finds Metaphor entertaining. It's like a fucking high school clique. It's fucking stupid. It's lame. So at the end of the day, Noam Dar, if anything, I think he's bringing himself down with this whole Metaphor gimmick. And on top of that, how long has he been the Heritage Cup champion for? He's what, a three-time Heritage Cup champion by now? Why don't we get Noam Dar and Oro Mensah in the tag team division? That would actually benefit Metaphor. That would actually work out pretty decently. That's what I'm looking forward to into the future. I want to build the tag team division in NXT, because right now, tag team division, they ain't got no spark whatsoever. Even with Tony D and Stax, chanting Stax Lorenzo as the NXT tag team champions. They're great. They're awesome. But even them, I don't really think that they got anything going for them. They don't really have anything going for them, and it's not because they're not great. It's because the competition down there is very weak. Although we do have Los Lotharios, I will say that. I'm actually watching NXT right now, and Los Lotharios are teasing an NXT championship match with Tony D and chanting Stax Lorenzo, which I don't mind at all. I think that would be great. But as far as the Heritage Cup goes, if anything, I'm not for WWE main roster talent winning NXT titles, but if you're asking me, Noam Dar really isn't doing anything with that Heritage Cup. The Heritage Cup, honestly, is just a prop on Noam Dar. Now, some people might not be a fan of the rules, but it could make for some exciting matches if done right. And I think that Butch would really make some exciting matches out of the Heritage Cup stipulation rules if he was the Heritage Cup champion. I think that Butch could do that championship very, very well. So I would not mind if Butch was to win the NXT Heritage Cup championship at all. And on top of that, he's really not doing anything on the main roster as it is. So why not give him the NXT Heritage Cup? Based on WWE's motto to generate the ratings, we gotta generate those ratings. Generate the ratings, says the fucking inbreds online. And Vince McMahon, the ratings, pal. The ratings, Bruce. What he does. I'm Vince McMahon. I can see Butch winning. I can, honest to God, I can see Butch winning. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section, who do you guys think is winning this match? Simply because of the fact that I don't know how you guys feel about Noam Dar. But Noam Dar, great at what he does, but Metaphor ain't doing shit. And the NXT Heritage Cup, it actually feels worse on Noam Dar. Butch could actually do it some justice. I really do believe he could. Now, I believe we are waiting in the wings for a triple threat match tonight on NXT. For all we know, it could very well be next right now. What is it said? 9:20. We got a lot of time, and I actually do believe that a triple threat match is coming up. Dominik Mysterio, or excuse me, Dirty Dominik Mysterio, because now everybody's got to get a name. We got to get Dirty Dominik Mysterio, the greatest of all time, John Cena, the sensational Santos Escobar, right? Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. I think I got to come up with a nickname for myself. Dashing DJ Storms, Dangerous DJ Storms, the Scintillating Storms. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think my nickname should be? I mean, I have a ton of fucking nicknames, but yeah, I'm trying to go the WWE nickname route right here. We got Dirty Dominik Mysterio, Big Bronson Reed, the sensational Santos Escobar, the incomparable LA Knight. I think I like Dangerous. Dangerous is a good one. Dashing's another good one. Although I don't want people to think I'm mocking dashing Cody Rhodes. Although Cody Rhodes, his booking hasn't been so dashing as of lately. All he is a theme song right now. Dazzling DJ Storms. I mean, okay, that's something. Dazzling DJ Storms. Cody Rhodes, I swear, I'm thinking about Cody Rhodes right now. I know a lot of people are waiting for me to go, oh! There you go. I gave you your oh, and we're not even on the LFU. Adrenaline in my soul. Here comes the bum named Cody Rhodes. His booking has sucked all fucking year. Oh! Anyway, so Dirty Dominik Mysterio, he is set to face one of these three individuals. There's a triple threat match tonight on NXT. It's between Dragon Lee, Tyler Bate, and Axiom, and the winner will face Dominik Mysterio for the NXT North American title. The Diabolical DJ. I like that. You know, I think we have a winner right there. I think we have a winner. James Punasecond. The Diabolical DJ Storms. I like that shit. I like that. Sounds like an old cartoon villain. I like that. The Diabolical DJ Storms. Diabolical DJ Shizzle Dizzle. I like it. So, Dragon Lee, he brought Dominik Mysterio to perhaps his best match ever. He brought Dominik Mysterio to perhaps his his best match ever last night on Monday Night Raw. And it really does seem like Dominik Mysterio is starting to turn it up a bit. Dominik Mysterio is slowly starting to find himself. I said he wasn't ready because that match with Wes Lee back on NXT was not good whatsoever. But I do believe that there is something in Dominik Mysterio. And the fact that he was wrestling Dragon Lee and he held his own and he won clean, that really does go to show me, at least, I'm just speaking for myself, it goes to show me that Dominik Mysterio is working. He's working on himself, and he's slowly but surely getting better. And he really showcased what he is capable of. He showcased that he can be something of substance. And on top of that, Dragon Lee is just so goddamn good. He brings out the best in everyone. If you haven't seen a Dragon Lee match, James Punaseca, let me tell you this. If you haven't seen a Dragon Lee match, James Punaseca, go and look up Dragon Lee versus Rush, R-U-S-H, Rush, from Death Before Dishonor last year in July. That was a great match. It went 17, 18 minutes. Fantastic match. And I'm not going to lie here. I actually think Dragon Lee is going to win this triple threat match tonight. We're probably going to go off the air before this triple threat match takes place. But I'm going to go with Dragon Lee taking the win. And I do believe that Dragon Lee is going to beat Dominik Mysterio at NXT No Mercy. Now, that was supposed to be Mustafa Ali before he got fired. Fucking ridiculous. Hey, I'm taking a look at NXT right now. They recently just added Trick Williams. So it's Trick Williams, Tyler Bate, Axiom, and Dragon Lee. The winner fights Dominik Mysterio at NXT No Mercy. There you go. But I think Dragon Lee is the right person to win. Dragon Lee is absolutely the right person to win. Dragon Lee, he has not had proper booking since he came to NXT. I realize that he didn't want to stay in NXT very long, and I understand that it's just a point where Dragon Lee wants to learn NXT and learn the WWE television way. I get it, but my God, Dragon Lee is a perfect fit for that NXT North American Championship. And who's to say he still can't do the main roster too? Dragon Lee had one hell of a debut last night on Raw. Who's to say he can't do main roster and NXT at the same time? So if anything, Dragon Lee winning the title on Saturday would probably be the best route to go. And I do believe that it's going to be Dragon Lee taking the win because I actually read a report. I read a report that Dragon Lee, aside from the fact that he is competing on Saturday, Dragon Lee, he was brought up to the main roster and he is possibly set for a big push. And Dominik Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, they are not scheduled for any further NXT appearances following NXT No Mercy. So by that logic, it would mean that Dominik Mysterio is going to have to lose the championship. He's not going to lose the NXT North American title on a random episode of Raw. That would be fucking stupid. It's the NXT North American Championship, a title that he shouldn't even be holding right now. But regardless, it's a title that he's holding as we speak, and he is not scheduled for any more appearances following NXT No Mercy. So by that logic, it could only mean that at the end of the day, he's going to lose that title. He's going to lose that title, and we could see a new North American champion. If anything, I actually do believe it could have been Mustafa Ali. I believe it could have been Ali, and then they fired him. So Dragon Lee, he would be the best individual to win the match, and he would be the best individual to take the championship off of Dominik Mysterio. Dragon Lee is way too good to not at least hold one championship in NXT before he gets called up to the main roster. At least give him somewhat of a chance. That's all I'm asking. Although, it'll probably go in one ear and out the other. When it comes to WWE, they don't listen to the fans. Let's be real here. Main event. It's actually a pretty intriguing main event. It is a rematch. A rematch from NXT Great American Bash. It is Carmelo Hayes versus Ilja Dragunov. Carmelo Hayes versus Ilja Dragunov for the NXT Championship. They are running this back from NXT Great American Bash because Carmelo Hayes was able to get away with the victory because Trick Williams inadvertently helped him. So I guess we'll have to see what the outcome will be this time. And if I'm going to make a bet, I actually do believe that this could be the point in time where Carmelo Hayes loses. Carmelo Hayes, he went through a little experimental run. Where he was called up to the main roster a bit to lose to Finn Balor, which was a fucking stupid-ass decision. But regardless, he had a little experimental phase up on the main roster, and I do believe that this could very well result in him getting called up. There's really nothing else for him to do down there. He's had a nice, solid little reign. He's held the championship for 6 months? Held the championship for 6 months. He's held it since WrestleMania weekend. He's had some bangers. He's had some bangers with Bron Breakker and Ilja. Great match with Wesley at NXT Heatwave. He had a great match with Baron Corbin. At NXT Gold Rush. So Carmelo Hayes has had himself a nice, solid string of matches. And I believe by Saturday, it'll be, 180 days? 180 days, he'll get that. He'll get that accolade of holding the NXT title for that long and have Ilja Dragunov win. If Ilja Dragunov is not set for a main roster call-up anytime soon, then it would make perfect sense for him to win the NXT not North American title, the NXT World title, because if there's one guy that embodies world champion on that roster, besides the obvious, besides a Tyler Bate, besides a Bron Breakker or a Carmelo Hayes, Ilja Dragunov, to me, is the guy that embodies world champion the most on the NXT roster. He is so goddamn underrated. He is not appreciated enough for what he can do. So I do believe that this will be his time. It's the most logical thing to do. And then Carmelo Hayes, I don't really know where you slot Carmelo Hayes in. If you ask me, I think Carmelo Hayes would probably be a nice fit for Bobby Lashley's group. Maybe Bobby Lashley brings in Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and kind of tests them against the Street Profits. Maybe we get a quartet with Lashley, Carmelo Hayes, and the Profits. Maybe we get a quintet with Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Lashley, and the Profits. There's a lot of different routes that you can go with on Carmelo Hayes. Maybe Carmelo Hayes is a potential challenger if Santos Escobar beats Rey Mysterio to win the United States Championship. Maybe we could see Santos Escobar and Carmelo Hayes at a Royal Rumble for the U.S. title, or maybe a Chamber, maybe a WrestleMania. I think the U.S. title would be a great starting point for Carmelo Hayes. There's a lot of different routes that you can go, but Dragunov, to me, seems like the best possible outcome right here. Dragunov seems like the best possible outcome, and have him win, and Carmelo Hayes start formulating some plans for him on the main roster. He's too good. He's too good to be down in NXT. And Ilja Dragunov, if he's not getting called up to the main roster, he's too good not to be an NXT World Champion, at least for a small period of time. He is so goddamn underappreciated. If you haven't seen an Ilja Dragunov match, you got to go out of your way to watch one. And if you saw the one that they had at the Great American Bash, Dragunov and Carmelo, you will know just what you're in store for on Saturday. I think we do see a new NXT champion. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. Short one today, short stream today, but a highly effective one. Nonetheless, I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the stream. Thank you to Jenna, James Punaseca, Earl Cole. Thank you to Dee Dee and Sarah Hapka. Thank you to Steve, Jordan, and Courtney. You guys have been fantastic. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all those links in the description. Do not forget, 100th episode of The Wrestling Experience with Earl Cole on Thursday. That's right. And on top of that, we got ISPW 25 Friday, 90s WrestleCon on Saturday, Rewind for NXT No Mercy on Sunday, Rewind for Wrestle Dream on Monday. Of course, on Thursday, October 5th, we got ourselves the rundown for Fastlane. And then on October 8th, On October 8th, it's going to be the Rewind for Fastlane. And then Thursday, October 12th, episode 2 of World of Wrestling with Mr. Jay Leto. It's going to be a fun time. I thank you all. You guys are fantastic. I'm DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown. But before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, you know what the question is to be. The question to be asked right now is, who runs the IWC? I think we all know the answer. The answer is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.